Hello and welcome. I'm Stephen. I hope your week has gone well. Today we're going to preview the Salford game in the FA Cup fourth round. But first, we're going to talk about the week that was. It's well, let's start with the Liverpool game last Sunday. I think I'm just about over it from an excitement perspective and the historical nature of it, but also what it does mean for us and the rest of the season. It didn't seem to have much terminal impact on Liverpool that they got back to winning ways against Sunderland during the week. But for us, I think we've got a lot of tricky away games coming up in the league. Bournemouth away, Leeds away, Chelsea away, etc. And we have struggled away from home at decent teams this season. Spurs, it speaks for itself. United, Brighton, and one or two others. So to show we can go somewhere like that and win and demonstrate to ourselves, our fans, and also the opposition that City can go away from home, and even when seemingly dead and buried, they can turn it round and win. I think that's really really big and something that they should lean into going forward. Um, During the week as well, there's some more managerial changes. We spoke about Thomas Frank at Tottenham on the last video. They're still yet to replace him with Harry Redknapp or De Zerbi or Jamie O'Hara or whoever it happens to be, whichever name you decide to pick out of the hat. But they're out of the FA Cup. They've got plenty of time to to dis, to determine who they want to take charge and approach, whether it's just an interim to the end of the season, which really limits your options, doesn't it? If you want De Zerbi, you need to get him. No real manager is going to come in and work on a 6-month basis. You can see at Nottingham Forest, they're having that issue at the moment. They're saying to this Victor Pereira, we want you, but we'd also like the idea of not having you next season. So can we only have a 6-month contract? And of course, he doesn't fancy that. So he's going to there will be probably a break clause in it, but I expect he will get a nice whack on the way out if they choose to go with someone else. And that someone else is apparently Marco Silva at Fulham. His contract's up at the end of the season. He used to work with Marinakis. His stock is pretty high, isn't it, Marco Silva? Why go to Nottingham Forest? You've got a great life. You've played at Fulham. You've got some decent players, good young players. Not that high in the expectations. Cup quarterfinals, I think it was last season, and you want to walk out the door and go to Nottingham Forest. Yeah, they might pay better, but I don't think it'll last as long. But leave that up to them. And just going back to Tottenham, Ange was on the overlap during the week. Apparently, he was due to come in anyway, but because of Thomas Frank sacking, they thought it'd be a good idea to get him on sooner. I bet they did. The overlap is filmed in Manchester, the THG. Ange does not live in Manchester, as far as I know. So as soon as Frank was sacked, I bet they got on the phone to him. Can you get up here? They put him in a cab, I reckon, stuck him in a hotel overnight. And the lawyers go top to bottom through the NDA and his compo arrangements, and then let him loose on Sky Television or YouTube. Sorry, not Sky. I watched half of it. It was quite funny. It's quite interesting, and he's basically saying their outward image is not how they deal with it internally. They say to dare is to do, but they don't take a risk when it comes to wages, transfer fees, replacing good legacy players, etc. So that's all right, and that's worth a watch. I've also been watching the Football Boardroom with Henry Winter and Christian Perslow, which is pretty good. Not particularly groundbreaking like this, pretty dry, I suppose, like this. If you like this, is well worth a watch. It's pretty good. So yesterday, Arsenal drew at Brentford 1-1. Is that them really dropping points, or is that just a normal result that happens throughout the course of a football season? I mean, I saw the highlights. I watched a bit of AFTV. Apparently, Arsenal were dreadful. Maybe dreadful's a bit harsh, but they were jittery. The goalkeeper's thrown it to the opposition. They weren't very creative. They had that Mabueki goal and then basically took him off, which is a bit odd. But is this a reflection of them getting the wobbles, or is it just Brentford are a good team who can do that to anyone? I lean on the Brentford is a good team and they can do that to anyone. I love the idea that they're wobbling and they're going to fall apart. And they might do. But I think reading too much into Brentford 1, Arsenal 1 is a bit of a mug's game, I think. Because they're going out for it, aren't they? Brentford, they're what, 6, 7 in the league? So, it's a tough place to go. Yeah, Arsenal will be looking at us and thinking, oh, they're at it again. But no, I think from Arsenal's point of view, it's okay. But Arsenal aren't the most rational of fan bases, are they? So they might see it another way. But they were talking on AFTV. Again, it's not the most balanced, but it's all I've got to go on. They were saying how slow Arsenal are in the start in first halves, and then they try and rescue it in the second. And that, I suppose the other way around. That's what we have, isn't it? We keep banging on that we've got second half problems. So the team top of the league got a first half problem. The team second in the league's got a second half problem. That suggests to me that the league's pretty good and full of internationals and full of teams that are not happy just to be rolled over from start to finish. So again, I know City have had the second half. I'm not going to read too much into them at the moment. Certainly not moving on, because we're in a good division, aren't we? And teams don't like to be taken apart, and if they're losing, they'll take chances. So I'm not. The two best teams in the league are complaining that they're going all their own way for 90 minutes. Then I think that's a reflection of how strong the league is, rather than one team taking it too easy and the other team taking the foot off the gas in the second half. I think it just goes down to these things happen. But from an Arsenal point of view, they've got Wolves next, and then it's Tottenham away. If they get anything less than 6 points out of them, then I'll start hearing things about them having a wobble. But we're there, aren't we? Our next game is Newcastle in a week on Saturday, which we probably should win, and then it's a cup after that. So yeah, no, sorry, something else after that 28th of Feb. So I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be there, as Pep says. We need to be there, and we are. Good second, keep them honest, and let's see where we go. But yeah, Arsenal would be disappointed, but they, by the sounds of it, a draw was a fair result. And if they start, what's the word looking for? Really, really drilling down into what a 1-1 draw away from home makes, then yeah, they will have a wobble. But the reality is, it's 1-1, it's away from home. It's not the end of the world. There's still four points clear. But it's also good for us, isn't it? So it's been a good week, but not the end of the world for Arsenal, unfortunately. A defeat would have been nice, wouldn't it? A defeat would have been nice, just to, although it's only 1 point the difference, a defeat would really, really, really make them think. But, and I took a job before the game, and we got one. So that brings us to the night before, the game that we put pressure on. Fulham at home, Wednesday night. I really didn't want this game. I really didn't want it. We just beat Liverpool. I was up there. I was a kite, we beat Liverpool. Great. And then it's, well, I'll leave the house in a couple of days, go and watch Fulham. Like, fucking hell, I've got things to do, busy. And it's sort of a wider conversation about, is there too much football, and does it come round too quickly? And yes, it does. And yes, there is too much football, but that's the game we're in. So I got the match bus. It took me 2 hours to get there. 2 hours to get there. So anyone who's banging about empty seats or whatever else, go and tune in to somebody else, because I'm not hearing it. People are not obligated to go to a football match. I sit in the South Stand. I've got a season ticket. What, a ticket for the ticket office for that game would be 53 quid. £53 to watch City home to Fulham in February. I don't. Listen, I know they want to price as a premium product and all the rest of it, but all I can think of is I'm sat in the South Stand here, I'm looking straight over a North Stand that hasn't opened yet, and thinking, how are you going to fill this? Now, obviously, United, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, all the rest of it, they'll fill, they'll fill out, and you don't have to worry about that. And I know they're not asked about the 25 quid ticket, and they'd rather sell the 100 grand hospitality package. I get all that, but League Cup games midweek, the pricing's got to be right. Even league games, my mate, £50 South Stand for West Ham, £50 for West Ham at home before Christmas. Yeah, I don't. No wonder this. The price point needs to change to get people in. Also, the access to the ground is horrific. Getting to and from that ground is horrific. I used to walk to town and get the tram. Because there's no way I'm waiting for the tram outside that ground. No chance. I get the match bus now, which is really, really good, but you're still in traffic. So yeah, it's a difficult ground to get to and get from. But I got there in the end. Team came out, bit gutted Marmoush wasn't playing. I was hoping to see him, although I think we'll come on to him a little bit later on. But the standard, I think Foden starting. But sorry, the midfield team being the same as it was against Liverpool, which I thought, yeah, great against Liverpool, not so great against Fulham at home. I thought we could have took one out, put Cherky in maybe, but does it work like that? Can you just go, right, take him out, put him in, see how he goes? Probably not. Probably a bit football manager oversimplification from me there. But I thought the midfield team did seem a bit safe, but it looked all right to me. I wanted to play Bernardo again. I wanted to play Rodri again. So yeah, I suppose a good selection. And Foden started. So said in the previous video, what do we want to see from Foden? I said I wanted to see a 7 out of 10 performance, and then come into the Salford game and maybe score a couple of goals. Well, I think we can safely say Foden did a 7 out of 10 against Fulham, particularly in the first half. He covered a lot of ground, had that shot that was deflected earlier on. Then he did the turn, and then Leno got down on to save it. So right, it's a good start. But there were a few opportunities where the pass was misplaced. But I'm not too bothered about that. Pissing it down, wasn't it? Horrific. So yeah, and he's not playing for a while, so maybe the rhythm's not there. But there's one in the second half when he was running through, and I thought, slide someone in, play someone in. It all seemed a bit clunky, whether it's decision making, whether it's confidence in his technique, because he's not played a while. I don't know. And then he had the shot when Marmoush tried to control it. Didn't. Well, his touch was bad. Came to Foden, he had a shot. So I think overall, Foden had a decent game, and I've concentrated on him a lot because I don't know what it is. And I know it's probably because he's come to the youth ranks and he's gone right to the top, and he's playing Champions League finals, and we've seen someone go out for his career, and now, for whatever reason, it's not quite working out. But I thought he did well. This red card, well, it should have been a red card. I didn't see it in the ground. I was at the end of the ground. Saw it on Ref Watch. Jesus Christ, that program. So saw on Ref Watch, and very hard to argue that it's not a red card. Now the referee didn't see it. I suppose fair enough. But there's quite a lot he didn't see as well. I mean, I'll just go on to his ref. Fucking hell. I've never seen anything like it. I think Norby got pushed over once whilst he was in the air, nothing given. The same thing happened to Nunez, nothing given. There's loads of them. Marmoush got taken out. Again, I'm sitting in the South Stand, so I might be doing a massive disservice to this ref, but I don't think I am. And again, just took out Marmoush, hobbling around. He looked horrific, and he was carrying on playing. So I didn't like the ref at all. And I know we can sit and talk about refs and VAR all day long. But from a VAR perspective, if you're a Fulham fan, why isn't Foden pulled up on that? Well, I don't know. Same thing happened with Doku against Wolves, and that wasn't pulled up on. But I don't understand why you wouldn't pull it up when it seems that clear. Yet you'll argue about goals that aren't scored for 6 minutes. Goals that are scored that you want to rule out for 6 minutes. I don't know. It just seems to me that VAR and refs overcomplicate matters. They overcomplicate matters. But overall, very good. Yeah, and if he got sent off, what that 3-match ban? Fucking hell, that'd be the last thing he needed. Now I know that isn't what referee ever takes into account, but it would have been disappointing for the rest of his season if he would have been sent off there. Touch on a couple more players. Semenyo, good poacher's goal, great assist for O'Reilly. I said to the person next to me, was that Semenyo's first touch, his goal? It seemed like he hadn't touched the ball in any meaningful way. But someone on Blue Moon reliably informed me that it was, depending how reliable you view that source, as his 7th touch. So, I mean, it wasn't actually his first touch, but might as well have been from a practical point of view. So, yeah, good poacher's goal. Shows what happens when you get people in the box. Shows what happens when balls go in the box. Things happen, don't they? So, yeah, good goal. Great start to his City career. And I was watching him in the second half in particular when we're breaking away. And whilst he does give the ball away quite a bit when he's trying to take his man on, he does have this knack of when someone does get a foot to win it back, when he gets his arse in the way or he shimmies or whatever it is. So I really like him. I think he's been a perfect signing so far. Slight that he wasn't very good at United away. Other than that, he knows where the net is. He's setting them up. He's big, strong, big tick, great signing. And so far so good. Which sort of leads me on to Mamouche, who, like I said, I wanted to start. I thought he did well against Liverpool, particularly in the first half. But I thought games like that, we need to come on and show a bit more. I don't know. I said he didn't get injured, but his touch is a bit heavy sometimes, and he's a bit selfish sometimes, which isn't always a worst thing, but it is when you're not scoring. So I hope he gets a great game against Salford. I'm sure he will. I'll come on to my suggested lineup for that shortly, and then he'll hopefully then give him the confidence to get on a bit of a roll, because we're going to need him, aren't we? Now Haaland's off with niggles. What does that mean? Does that mean we're going to play him against Salford? I hope not. But one way or the other, Champions League, FA Cup, League, Carabao Cup final, we're going to need Marmouth to at least be a decent option. Excuse me, off the bench, or even to start some of the easier games. And I was going to Mark Gay actually, whilst we're here. And the guys, I mean, what do you say? What do you say about a player who's come from Paris, whose style of play is obviously a little different to ours, to say the least, and he's slotted in. Yeah, there's a couple of mistakes, or at least one on the ball in the second half, but by and large, I thought he was excellent, and particularly in the second half when we were under a bit of I'd say self-inflicted pressure. We just took our foot off it, made the subs, and went. We're pretty relaxed here at 3-0 against Fulham. So let's see how it goes. And I'm not buying this. It was nervy. I'm not buying this. It was always they'd have got one. I'm not having it. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. It's Fulham at home. I'm not having it. That's all. Just quickly, the goalkeeper, Donnarumma, made a couple of good saves. I didn't go long much, did he, in the second half? Got caught on the ball once, he went out for a goal kick, but that sort of thing against him, like, be a bit braver. But happy overall with the Fulham game, because I thought we were good. The first 10 minutes were excellent. We set into them, got stuck into them, a few shots. O'Reilly's shots were a bit wild, but I don't care. He can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. Keep shooting from the edge of the box. Just get better at them. If those shots were good shots, then we've got it's great, isn't it? So you've wound up in the space. You've got the opportunity. Just get better at shooting at them. And I know it sounds very reductive, but improving that area, and then that's another string to your bow. The second 10 minutes was a bit iffy, I thought, but then after we got one, I thought we were really, really good. Haaland's goal was very good. O'Reilly's goal, great finish. So very, very good, very straightforward game. In the second half, we just took our foot off the gas, and the Fulham was shooting towards us in the second half. It was a good job. I'd have just been talking amongst myself, not paying any attention. So, yeah, good overall game. And I want more of those type of home games in the next few months. Just straightforward, win, and finish. I don't know how many they're going to be, but I hope that the minimum of fuss. So it's Salford tomorrow. There will be no Salford. Well, you'll know this by the time you clicked on it. There's no Salford badge on the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm going to do with the thumbnail yet, but it's channel policy not to have a United badge or a Salford badge on here. So I'll have a think about what I'm going to do. But yeah, so Salford, we could have had Swindon, which I'd have much preferred. But it is what it is. And I expect it's going to be a very, very straightforward game. So I'll just go through what my starting 11 would be for the game. Get rid of these adverts. So this is unbearable. So James Trafford net's pretty obvious. I thought he was really good against Newcastle in the League Cup. I thought excellent. So obviously he'll play in this game. And I've gone for a mixed bag at the back. And I know there's not much attacking width from these two, but I don't really think we need it. Oh, I'll come on to Kusanov though. He come on against Fulham. And I didn't like it. He got a knee to his face on Sunday. Do we really need to bring him on? Really? It just worries me because I said in the video after the Liverpool game that football's taking concussion seriously. And it doesn't look like they're taking it seriously, does it? If you're just bringing him on after having a knee to his head on Sunday. So I wasn't happy with that. But I was happy with his performance. So maybe I'd probably give him the night off, but I expect Pep will play him. Stones, I expect he'll come in for a run around. And Max Elaine, I'd play him as well because I think he come in when we were in the shit, didn't let us down. Well, he did actually. He ended a bit shit towards the end against Bodo and who do we play at home? He looked all at sea, Newcastle. So give him an easy game against Salford, let him get his confidence back up. And also the shop window for the loan market in the summer. And Ake at left back, he needs a run out. No better game than this one. So we can give Aït-Nouri the day off. I noticed Aït-Nouri went down injured again against Fulham with cramp. I mean, it is quite funny the amount of time he does go down with cramp or also injury. This injury's in our half though, so maybe it's genuine. Nico Gonzalez, is he in the doghouse? He's no starts. I'm not sure, but thought it looked good when he came in against Fulham, so deserves a start. And then I'd go with Cherky Reiners in midfield. Sorry, Cherky and Foden in midfield. But you could easily just sort of switch those around, couldn't you? And do that. But Foden's, I'd start Foden midfield with Cherky and get Reinders out of the way because he's not going to fancy many tackles, is he, off Salford players? So get him out of the way, get him in there. And Makadu, sorry for the pronunciation. I thought he was really good in the game against Exeter. So, get him in. Get him in, and with Marmoush up front as well. I don't think I've forgotten anyone. But I think that's a good, exciting team. I mean, they'll be fine, won't they? They'll be fine. Nico should be fine. And Cherky, I mean, that's got goals all over it. So I'm very, very confident that we'll do the business. But I don't want to just beat them. We're talking, you need multiple goals, don't you, against Salford? Hopefully 10 like Exeter. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So overall, it's been a very good week, hasn't it? We've done the business on the pitch. Some teams are making fools of themselves off it. I'm not going to talk about Jim Radcliffe. If you want to listen to the way he goes, there's TV stations dedicated, Little Watch TV stations dedicated to the stuff he has to say. So go and watch that. I'll listen to those fringe radio stations if you're interested in what Jim Radcliffe had to say. But obviously Forest have got their manager out. Would he have kept him up? Maybe. Will this guy keep him up? Maybe. They just look a bit silly, don't they, Forest? This time last year, they were going for fourth. Didn't quite work out, but now they're going for fourth bottom. So, leave him to it. Tottenham, there's a laugh a minute at the moment, and there's us just chugging along. So yeah, it's been a great week, hasn't it? Been a great week. So I'll be back for the review of the Salford game, which I don't expect is going to take too long. So we're going to do a quick one on that, and then it's Newcastle at home next Saturday. So I'll come back with a preview for that. And I might do something in the middle. I don't know yet. I'll think of a topic or drop a comment about what topic you want me to touch on. And we can go from there. Well, yeah, so thanks for joining. It's been a bit all over the place, this one, because Fulham game is straightforward. Salford, I've got not much to say really. So I thought touch a few other performances and a few other teams. So yeah, I might do that more of a format actually on Friday to talk about the week that's gone and other teams. But I'll see how that goes for the rest of the season. So thanks for joining. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you on probably Monday for the review. Take care.